Hey everyone, it's NJ Cole, and we're hitting day 7 of the Cole in His Stocking Advent Calendar. I hope you're enjoying this. Make sure that you subscribe to my website. It's my little commercial. www.njcoleauthor.com. If you can't wait to hear the ending of this book, it is on Amazon. But if you hold off just a little bit, Santa might be giving it away for Christmas. Just kidding. You know I always give it away for free at Christmas. All right. Well, without further ado, Chapter 3. While Anthony ran down the flight of stairs and to his room to get ready for his meeting, Bryn was doing the same thing. She knew she had time to shower if she didn't get her hair wet. She kind of didn't want to wash it anyway, recalling the feeling of Anthony's fingers rubbing her scalp. Bryn looked at her wardrobe. She always dressed conservatively, but she wondered if Anthony had made a valid point. She didn't want to use her body to get what she wanted, but she shouldn't have to hide it either. This time, when she buttoned up her deep burgundy blouse, she left the top one undone. She wore a black pencil skirt and black heels. Her jewelry was simple, a singular diamond pendant given to her by her parents when she graduated college hung low, resting just above her cleavage. Checking her makeup one last time, she grabbed her purse and headed down to the lobby. She knew the meeting was in the building, in the Taft room. Now, all she had to do was find it. Anthony straightened his tie and ran his fingers through his hair. He'd had time to shower and wash the smell of sex off his body. He loved that his room still looked tousled from the night before, and considered putting a Do Not Disturb sign on the door so it would stay that way. He could smell Bryn's perfume. He didn't put the sign on the door, though, hoping to make new memories later that evening. He knew where the meeting was being held, so he took the elevator down and entered the conference room. There were already 3 people he knew there: Bobby, the treasurer for the union, Jack, the business agent for the electricians, and Joe, the business agent for the plumbers. Anthony was representing the bricklayers and tile setters. There were people there he didn't recognize and assumed they were part of the other side. One was a balding man in a gray suit, and the other was a woman with blonde hair pulled tightly back in a bun. She wore dark red lipstick and looked exactly as Anthony had expected. They were off in the other corner of the room and out of earshot. "Is that her, the Wicked Witch of the North?" Anthony whispered, looking right at the woman. "Nah, that's the lawyer's paralegal. Actually, Brenda Bottler isn't here yet." "Maybe she won't show up and save us a lot of headache," Anthony said sarcastically. "I was worried you weren't going to make it," Bobby said. "Stuck in traffic?" Anthony shook his head. "Nah, actually I stayed here last night, just overslept. I had one hell of a night." Joe smirked. "I know that look. I miss that," he said, twisting the wedding ring on his left hand. Anthony knew that Joe was only kidding. He was happily married, and often Anthony was envious at him for having a stable relationship and 2 kids. "You don't miss it. You love Marla. But I do have to say it was awesome. I fucked her 6 ways to Sunday. I bet she can't even walk today. Honestly, guys, it was the best sex of my life." Anthony knew from the looks on their faces that something was wrong. He hadn't heard the door to the conference room open, or the soft sound of the woman walking up behind him on the carpet, but he could tell from the look on his colleagues' faces that there was one, and she was standing right behind him. And from the scent of perfume that now filled the air, he knew exactly who it was. The question in Anthony's mind was, why? Why was she here? He turned quickly, and they stared at each other, mouths open. Bryn would have been on time if she could have found the room, but the hotel was rather large. She had to stop at the front desk and ask. She was only a minute late, probably no big deal, but she preferred to be early. Taking a breath to calm herself after speed walking down the hall, she opened the door to the conference room only to hear the tail end of a conversation. Was awesome. I fucked her 6 ways to Sunday. I bet she can't even walk today. Honestly, guys, it was the best sex of my life. She recognized his voice, his back, his ass in the dress pants. There was no doubt it was Anthony, and there was little doubt he was talking about her. She knew her mouth was hanging open, but she couldn't get over the shock. What on earth was he doing here? Bobby sensed the awkwardness, and thinking it was because of the nature of the topic they were discussing, and not the fact that it was about her, he tried to intervene. "Pardon us, ma'am," he said in the same southern drawl Anthony had used. "We didn't know a lady was present." Bryn still stood there in shock, unmoving, trying to process what she just learned. She wasn't sure what had a greater impact on her, the fact he'd said it was the best sex of his life, or the fact he was there. Thankfully for her, the attorney who was on her team spoke, breaking the tension. "Good morning, everyone," he said, walking over. "I'm Roger Williams, representing COLE, and this is my assistant, Emma Swaransky." He stuck out his hand and shook hands with the other men before turning to Bryn. "It's good to finally meet you in person, Brenda," he said, extending his hand to her. She took it and shook it firmly. "It's nice to meet you too, Roger, but it's Bryn. Everybody calls me Bryn." "I'm Bobby Martins, treasurer for the Local 5, Bobby said, shaking hands with Bryn, Roger, and Emma. "And this is Jack Lehman, business agent for the electricians, Joe Stanford, business agent for the plumbers, and Slick Dupree, business agent for the bricklayers and tile setters." Bryn shook hands with all of them. "Nice to meet you, Bobby, Jack, Joe, Slick." She said his name with disdain. The others noticed, but assumed it was some sort of animosity that had formed due to having opposing opinions. Hey, this is NJ, and I just want to thank you for joining me again for day 7 of In His Stocking's Kinky Advent Calendar.